open with a very short lifting up of prayer. God of light and love, be among us this morning. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be pleasing to you, our rock and our salvation. Amen. So Nelson, thank you for reading those scriptures. That was a lengthy set of scriptures. I want to very much thank Ronnie back there. I did wait to the last minute to get him my PowerPoint and a short little video that we're going to see. And he did it. So yay, Ronnie! And I want to thank Charlene for the opportunity to bring you a message this morning about you all. So I want to define the word laity for you before we begin. Oxford Dictionary says that laity are ordinary people as distinct from professionals or experts. Lay people as distinct from the clergy, the people in the pews. So take just a second, look to the left, look to the right. You're going to see laity, except for Ian. He's going to see clergy. Sunshine's going to see clergy. But the rest of the people, they're going to see laity. I want to start with the video.
Bear with it, y'all. Stand by. We may get commercials. We're streaming this, so I apologize.
The title of this video is on YouTube is What is the Church? And you've been hearing what the church is called.
What is the church?
It may be that, did it start here? I know, I heard the audio, but my problem is getting the thing this way. Hang on a second. Let me try something else. This is the shout. I apologize.
All right. I'm gonna go on and say just a little bit, and you start it whenever you started. 18th century Methodism was a lay movement and witnessed itinerating, that's people, clergy, or at this time, lay people moving about, lay preachers being assigned in pairs, they were never sent out alone, to circuits throughout the British Isles, and eventually they made it to the Americas. Are we there yet, Ronnie?
Almost.
Okay. All right.
I'll try this one.
There it is.
Okay.
Hold on.
What is the church? Is the church a building? Is the church a pastor? Or the staff? Is the church the music? The tradition? Or the ministries? These are all good things, but they are not the church. Take them away, and the church is still here. Why? Because you are still here. The church is you. The church is you with a purpose. The church is you on a mission. The church is you with a plan. A simple plan to plug into God at a weekend service, to charge up in a small group community, to live out using your gifts and passions, and to pass on your faith to those who do not know Christ. When you and I live like this, all the things we used to do in church become things we do as the church. God desires it. The world needs it. And we are called to be it. What is the church? The church is you.
Amen. Beginning in 1929, the recognition of the laity in the church was referred to as Layman's Sunday, focusing on the ministry of the men of the church. Remember the date, 1929. This name remained until 1972. In 1973, the name was changed to Laity Sunday. And we had already ordained females before then, so it was a very good and smart thing to change it to ladies. Laity Sunday focuses on the celebration of the ministry of all lay women and men. I am a deaconess in the United Methodist Church, a laywoman called by God to be in a lifetime relationship in the United Methodist Church for engagement with a full-time vocation in ministries of love, justice, and service. There have been deaconesses in the Methodist Church for 130 years. So we are a very well-established office. And now in 2016, we were deemed an order, just like Cindy is ordered in the elders, order of deacons, order of deaconesses. There are 169 active deaconesses and home missioners, and home missioners are the men. We let them be. 110 who are retired, and 70 candidates. 32 individuals will be consecrated into the order of deaconess and home missioners at General Conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota in May of 2020. I asked several lay women and men to give me a snapshot of the outreach ministry they are involved in and how it was started. Now, to some of you, this may be news that you've heard, but to some of you, like me, I had not a clue. So I hope this is helpful. And if not, just smile at me when I look up at you. So we start off, and I tried to do them in order of date. So the United Methodist Men Recycle Team started a recycling program in 1987 on a vacant lot at First United Methodist Church, where the Family Activity Center is today. It started with a 55-gallon barrel that was used to collect that glass and taken to Austin to sell. So if I call your name, please stand. And then at the end of each section, I'm going to ask everyone that's been involved in this ministry to stand. The original team was Lou Rose, Skip Tyson, Tom McClure, Billy Richards, Lynn Bullock, and Jim Long. The glass collection expanded with the help of a grant to purchase a baler for cardboard. The team realized they would need more space and reached an agreement with the city of Smithville to use the current location across from Brookshire Brothers Grocery. This became the Smithville Recycling Center in 1988. Thank you, Tom, for standing. You may sit down. The cardboard baler was also used to bale plastic. Aluminum cans, newspapers, oil, and metals were also added to the items being collected at the structure that was built by United Methodist Men. I had no idea you guys did that. Have you all been through there to deliver your stuff? It's a great structure. As more and more people brought their recyclables to the center, the United Methodist Men coordinated handover, and I don't blame you at all, a coordinated handover of the management to city services in 1991. Over 1/3, this blew my mind, over 1/3 of the trash collected in Smithville found its way to the recycle center. So what a great environmental impact you guys started many years ago to keep that amount of recyclable items out of the landfills. In 2007, the team consisted of, here we go again, guys, Ronnie Lanier, Skip Hyson, Lynn Bullock, Billy Richards, Charles Keithley, John Zink, Harlan Castles, Bob Estes, and Mike Damer. The team has grown to include Buddy Wilson, David Moore, Dan Ellis, and Joe Milner. Thank you, guys. There's some more. The team gathers every Thursday at 7 a.m., except for Thanksgiving. They will not miss a meal. And some Wednesday afternoons to shovel plastic bottles into the baler, which are then shipped to Balcony Systems in Austin. And for their service, the city of Smithville gives the United Methodist Men funds from the sale of aluminum. They use the funds for youth scholarships, the Ministerial Alliance, the Smithville Food Pantry, Blue Santa, Boy Scouts, and other worthwhile endeavors. So I've asked some of our laity to help. So Jordan, if you would like to bring the recyclable symbol. And I didn't know this was going to be here. See, laity are really flexible too. I was going to pile it on the altar. So there's a symbol for our recyclable. So Smithville Food Pantry. Ask a Methodist was the response I received when I asked Grover Shade for the history of the food pantry. In 1994, the First United Methodist Church Bulletin stated, the food bank and CCA have a freezer for wild game donated by local hunters. In 1995, the freezer was moved from the CCA location to the FUMC kitchen, prompting a plea to go out for volunteers for food distribution. This was the beginning of the Smithville Food Pantry as we know it today. Reverend Sheldon Johnson, please let him know. We talked about him this morning in church. Where'd she go? She went back there. There you go. Reverend Sheldon Johnson provided the leadership and told Grover in 2019 that he was inspired to start the pantry by the obvious local poverty as evidenced by the number of people that came to the First United Methodist Church looking for help with utility bills, gasoline, and food. Some of the early volunteers were Jim Long, Muriel Sanborn, and Dorothy Thomas. The May 2nd, 1996 edition of the Smithville Times had an article that read, and this is just a blip, the pantry was distributing food on Wednesdays and help was needed in locating a new location. 25 to 30 families were being served at that time. Leadership at the pantry has been strong, starting with Dorothy Ivins with the Arctics, Betty Nichols, Sam Martin, and our own Nancy Wilson, who did an excellent job until her illness kept her from serving. Jim Laird followed her, and currently Judy Ivanicki is the pantry manager. The food pantry has had several homes, beginning here at church, moving to the Central Elementary Building. The city of Smithville provided a location on South 2nd and Lee Street, and finally land was purchased at the corner of MLK and Lee Street, and another lot was acquired with the help of Mary Ellen Keithley, and the new building was started in 2017 with a grand opening on November 14, 2018. Volunteers keep the pantry doors open and the shelves stocked with food. Some travel to Bastrop, to H-E-B, Walmart, and some to the Central Texas Food Bank. Others move the food to the distribution shelves, fill orders, and carry orders to the clients. It is like an ant mound, a beehive over there on Wednesdays. So if y'all haven't been over there, y'all should pop in and then get out of people's way. Starting in 1996 with 25 to 30 families and moving to September 2019 with 106 families. So then you multiply that out, how many people are in those families, we don't know, show that there is still a need for food pantries and loyal, dedicated volunteers. So now Cody is going to put our food for the symbol of the food pantry. Thank you, Cody. Smithville Community Clinic was created through the laity of Smithville First United Methodist Church. It began with a question, where's your free clinic? Asked by a woman new to Smithville. Reverend Dr. Karen Beck said, the clinic was a vision of a group who started a nonprofit organization and created a board to guide the clinic to reality. Through grants from Bastrop County, fundraisers, and donations, the group was able to begin construction on the clinic in 2009. If you have not been over to the clinic, that started with a cargo container. We do medical care out of a cargo container that was transpired into a clinic. Land was secured as well as a 20-foot cargo container, and the rest is history. And it's a very fluid history because we just keep growing. What began as a Saturday medical clinic has grown into a once-a-month women's clinic, a dental clinic, and a behavioral health clinic who are going like nobody's business because mental/behavioral health is right under cancer for the two leading ailments in our society today, not just in Smithville, but all over the planet. We plan to add a medical doctor, another nurse practitioner, and an additional building, which we jumped through the hoop at planning and zoning, and now December 9th, we'll jump through another hoop at the city council meeting. And they've already told us if P&Z says go, City Hall will help us go. Since 2013, we have seen approximately 2,000 women and men who otherwise would not have received medical attention. That number continues to grow with the help of our newest staff addition of a bilingual patient navigator, Diana, who goes out into the county to share with moms and dads about our service. We lucked out with Diana. She is also employed with Head Start. Head Start does family visits. So she's already got her foot in the door and people trust her. So now she can also tell them about the clinic. The only criteria that we have is that you do not have health insurance or you are severely underinsured. Many people have catastrophic insurance for heart attacks, strokes, when you go into the hospital, but can't go to a general practitioner because you've got an upper respiratory infection. So we help people. So I need James to come and put our blood pressure cup. I was looking for a stethoscope and I couldn't find one. Stethoscope. It's that purple thing. Yes. Thank you, James. Marcia McClure shared the ministry of Born Again Emporium. The clergy of the Smithville Ministerial Alliance saw how successful the Second Chance Emporium in LaGrange had become and started the conversation in 2014. Planning started, committees were formed. Methodists cannot do a thing without forming a couple of committees. And so committees were formed, and in September of 2014, Janice is laughing, she must have sat on a committee. The first sale days were held at the Central School. The Central School has been an intricate location for this body of laity to do ministry out of, but then we have to move because we get too big. Marcia and Karen Damon, representing Smithville First United Methodist Church, volunteered to be co-coordinators. There were 9 churches that began working in the heat and small quarters of the schoolhouse before they moved into a building that was rented by the Wahlbergs on Loop 230. We immediately outgrew that space and dreamed of a new building of our own. The goal of BAE is to raise funds to meet applications for grants to other nonprofit groups that meet human needs in our community, and the Smithville Community Clinic has been a recipient of that grant. We were so successful in raising those funds that we continued to raise enough funds to build our own building, moving into it over a year ago. We have decided it too is too small. Born Again Emporium has given over $250,000 in grants that benefit. So they've given over $250,000 in grants, and they built that big building out there. Something's working there. Every week, over 400 hours are spent by the volunteers from many churches working together to get things ready to sell. An average of 600 people shop on Fridays and Saturdays. There is no way, because I asked, there is no way to estimate how many people benefit from our profits. The number is great. It is a gross understatement that God has blessed the Born Again Emporium beyond our wildest dreams. I totally agree, Marcia. So, if Shelby will come, no. Okay, I got you around. I apologize for that. No, come on, Shelby. Put that, those articles of clothing, those shoes for Born Again Emporium. So, you will notice that there's not a TRP slide. So I left this to the last because I wanted to have a special place for the givers. I hear you all may be leaving Smithville. Is this true? Okay. So this was my way of giving you a little extra time, Glenn. I know I'm going to miss you. I'm pretty sure the lady and the staff of this church will miss you also, as well as Joyce. So I asked Glenn to put together something about Texas Rank Project. Texas Rank Project, if I talk about it again, it will just be TRP, was brought to Smithville in 2015. Glenn Ginder heard there was a need for wheelchair ramps and built a team. And I can stand here today saying there's still a need. There will always be a need for wheelchair ramps. So when Glenn and Joyce go where they're going, we need to keep that Texas Ramp Project going and going. Because that need's not going to go away just because you leave. We're going to continue to have ramp needs. The team consists of approximately 20 people from Smithville First United Methodist Church, the Lions Club, the Arvics, and others who have been blessed by the camaraderie of the build. And that is so true. We have so much fun building ramps and the ability to be involved in blessing a neighbor in need. 75 families have been blessed with enhanced access to their homes at a time of urgent need. The church provides valued, safe storage and recharging for our extensive collection of tools. And I know how many tools are given to a TRP team, and they are immense. So you do need a place, so thank you, church. Glenn recently discontinued after about 4 years, enjoying a recycling ministry. That's why I didn't name you in theirs. I wanted to showcase you. The recycling ministry, baling plastics with my brothers. Who else can say that? You said it so well, Glenn. He also said it was and is a delight to participate with the Born Again Emporium, remodeling the original school location and serving on the building committee for the new location and working 2 days per week when the Arvics and or Smithville First United Methodist Church take their turn. Now this is the only time that Glenn and Joyce deviated from church. They've also been working with Meals on Wheels. Though not a church ministry, those are his words, each Wednesday allows Joyce and me to interact with grateful and needy neighbors, and then go home to our lunch and have a prayer for each of the beautiful people we served. So, Grace, who hasn't put something up there? Because I got you all out of order, Grace. If you will put them. I don't have to tell Glenn what this is. Even Patty knew what this was. But I need to tell you, because remember in the scripture, it said, when did you visit me in prison? Prison doesn't have to be TDCJ, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Prison can be whatever you may be addicted to, and whatever is keeping you from leaving your home. And let's see, this says it's a 2x4, but it might not be exactly 2 inches. But this width keeps people imprisoned in their homes because they can't get out of it. That's why TRP, Texas Ramp Project, is vitally important for the safety and the mental awareness of the clients. So that's why I placed that there. Texas Ramp Project is dear to my heart. So, hang on, because I got my stuff out of order. The little video, that's why it was so late. I deliberated whether to put that in there or not, but it so spoke to Laity that building, Cindy, Patty, don't take this personally. The staff, the music, the tradition, that's not the church. The church, you can look left and right. We are the church. And I'm not going to break into song because I'm not a public singer. But we are the church with a purpose, and that is to love God and love others. So I am going to put this. Jordan and Cody help me work this, and I'm not taking the part of this. I am going to add that. To love God and love others. That is our purpose. as laity of the church. Our mission is to connect the unconnected. I love that. To connect the unconnected to Christ and together grow to full devotion to Christ. And our plan, Cindy, I don't know if you're taking notes on that, where it said plug in, come to worship, hear the message. Charge up in small groups, and I am guilty of not being a part of a small group, Sunday school, Bible study. Live out, use your gift to live outside of these walls, because outside of these walls is where true ministry takes place. And guess who by? The laity. The laity. And pass on. Pass on your faith to others. To those that before they met you were unconnected, but now they're connected. And passing on your faith is, you don't have to read the Bible to them, beat them over the head with that Bible. What you do is, through your life and through your words and how you treat other people, that's what's going to get them connected. Then they can read the Bible. So, I think that was a very important little clip to see. So, I just want to say, wow, what a history of laity we have at Smithville First United Methodist Church, where we have, to our neighbors, seen the hungry and the thirsty and given them food and drink. We have seen them sick and we minister them at the clinic. We have seen them naked, only figuratively, and we give them clothing at the Born Again Emporium. And we have seen them in prison, and we have built ramps. The United Methodist Church has always been an outward-looking community. For as long as you look up John Wesley's sermons, anything else in print about the Methodist Church, we always look out. We always go to places nobody else will go to be the church. So now we may want to look at a time for inward reflection to see what God has for us in 2020. Because we have a great history, and I'm not saying we need to compete with that history, but I'm saying we need to continue on. So we are one body with many members. Where will 2020 find this body at work? Will we mentor, tutor children? Will we step up to be Sunday school teachers? And I'm just going to take a minute of privilege here to say we need children Sunday school teachers. So if you would like to be a children's Sunday school teacher, check in with Cindy. Check in with Cindy. And then this came to me at an admin meeting, and I won't look at you, Tricia. Will we create a baby depot for moms and dads who may need a high chair and diapers? Oh no, will we? Will our quilters decide to send kid-sized quilts to group homes and orphanages? I don't know, maybe. There is no limit to what this body, with our many members, may be called to be. Because we are called to be in ministry, not do ministry to someone. I can rest assured that when one of us suffer, we all suffer. And when one of us rejoice, we all rejoice with our brothers and sisters who are called into ministry to love people, connect the unconnected, and to live that plan. And so, got Laity? What's the answer?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Thanks be to God. Thank you.